Hey guys, what's up? This is Val from Dreamlight. In part 8 of our Master the Art of DAZ photo blends, we're going to be talking about the magic of layers. And I've been using layers since the very beginning because it's just such a powerful way of controlling what you're doing, getting things exactly the way you want them. And besides, it's also in a lot of times much faster than trying to adjust things inside DAZ. So here's what I mean. Right now we are using two light sources. One is the environmental projection here with the environment sky and light system in DAZ, and the other is the spotlight from the front giving a subtle filler light. And the way we normally would go by and adjust this is to click on the light, tweak its intensity, see how it looks. Well, it looks pretty okay, maybe a little bit more, maybe not, right? And the same thing goes here. We can adjust this, overall, brighter or darker. We can go a lot darker. We can then fine tune the sun. You can exaggerate the sun instead, right? So the thing is, there is a better and quicker way than adjusting it right now here in DAZ, right? And there are multiple ways of rendering layers. You can separate everything totally by rendering the background separately. But today I want to just show you the quick way, right? So we're going to assume that we want the background as it is because there are multiple ways of controlling even the background separately in Photoshop, right? So what we're going to do is render 3 images. One is going to be with the girl, and let's go in here, environment, subtype of the render settings, and choose scene only. So this renders just a spotlight. And for rendering layers, remember, spotlights don't cast shadows onto backgrounds, right? But they will cast shadows onto your character. Now, when you're rendering layers, you don't want to just render a subtle effect. You want to go max and punch it really intensely, not oversaturate, but you want to give it as much data as possible so that you have something to play with, right? But again, normally when you want to, really separate things, you can go nuts and separate everything, like do shadows on its own and all that, right? So this is our first render. It features just the background and the spotlight. And we're just gonna render this as it is. All right, 69 and so forth. There's all that done. By the way, I'm using a background from my own store, dreamlight3dstore.com, featuring the new luxury yachts. So we can go ahead and check that out. Just gonna hit render now, render this out. So the way you do, work with layers is that you ignore your final mix. You just set the lights where you know they need to be and put them at max. That spotlight is pretty much hitting her kind of hard, right? It's way too hard for what we really need, but we're gonna, have it that way so we have something to work with. Now, when this is done, I'm gonna just go ahead and save that. And we're gonna call it filler _ layer. All right. Next, we're gonna remove that light and render instead. Go back here, dome and scene, and we're gonna turn off the sunlight. So down here on the sun disk intensity, I'm gonna enter 0. I can maybe punch it a little bit more. That is now the sky component of the environmental lighting system in DAZ, right? I'm gonna render that out. And just to be sure, today I'm gonna also show you how to render a mask of our girl, because we are rendering the background now also with all 3 layers, right? Normally you would separate the background, render it totally separate, but I wanna just keep things simple. So go ahead and save that. I'm gonna call that sky layer. Perfect. Now, finally, I'm gonna go ahead and right about here on the environment intensity, enter 0.0001. So it's almost pitch dark, but not quite. That gives us the possibility to enter sun disk 10,000 and make it enough to, cast a shadow and project lighting onto her. Let's render that out now as our sun layer. And I know it looks kind of crazy as of now, right? It's like, what are you doing, man? Rendering her all black and all that, right? Because you can sculpt and relight your lights or layers inside Photoshop. So it's kind of mind-blowing when you know this technique. That's done. Let me just save. Call it sun layer. Perfect. All right. Just to be sure, I'm gonna, like I said, create a mask as well. To create a mask inside DAZ of your girl, what you wanna do is remove the backdrop. Just have plain white. You wanna remove any bloom if you have that. Okay, bloom is not really good for masks. They need to be very, precise. A mask should not cast shadows, so we're gonna turn off the ground. Let's do that. And also, you want to have a light in your scene, but have it turned off, like the eye icon here, right? Because here is when we go up here now and choose scene only. We're choosing that light. If it's on, it's gonna project. If it's off, we're gonna get a black silhouette. And this is our mask. Just hit render and it's done. A good idea when rendering masks, let's just see how this turns out, is that you want to keep camera depth of field. If you're rendering with the depth of field on, like the blurry background, there may be portions of someone's hair or hand or something slightly behind them might get blurry. You want to keep that blurry, right? Because it's part of how the image looks like. And it's done. Cool. Let's go ahead and save that and just call it mask. All right, let's head into Photoshop. So now we have everything loaded here. And we're gonna just keep stacking them. So sun layer can be at the bottom. Then we can add sky layer. And the way we're gonna add it is Control A to select all, Control C to copy, go to this layer, click on Control V or hit on the keyboard, right? Control V to paste. And here we can actually rename them, right? Say sky, right? This one can be called sun. And then we're gonna we can now remove the individual sky render. We don't need it anymore. Grab this one here, Control A, Control C, then come back here, Control V to paste. There's also a way of loading all as layers. And we'll put it at top, and we're gonna call it filler. All right, cool. So that's the base. So I'm gonna bring down the opacity of the filler to 0. Go here, click on the sky layer, and adjust it accordingly. What happens as I add the sky is that you fill in the blanks on the girl. See that? Now, because the sky layer doesn't have the shadow per se, right? It kind of removes the shadow from the sun layer, this one over here. So the way to fix that is to add a mask here. So I'm gonna click on right about down here, add a mask, this one here, right? Click on it. Then I'm gonna go back here and copy this one, the mask we just created, Control A and Control C, then go back here, Alt click on this, Control V to paste, and now go back. And we need to do vice versa. Click on there and adjustments, invert. So now what we have done is that we have this particular layer, we have excluded the backdrop from it. So this layer as of now only projects on the girl, right? The way it mixes right now, it's using the normal blending mode, which means it overpowers the sun as you increase this and removes it. If we use screen, it starts to blend it instead. Okay, now you see the sun is intact. As I increase this, the sun is intact now, right? And that is the beauty of layers, is that we can, play and adjust this as much as we want live in Photoshop and say, well, I like this more, now I like it more, I like it less, that's what I like, right? And for the filler, I'm gonna throw in a mask, go here, I'm gonna invert that here, copy that, go here, Alt click on it, and Control V to paste it. So now we can use screen blending mode here and have the filler also being added live. See what I'm doing now? I'm adjusting the lights live and interactive. Now, ideally, when you separate the background from scratch, you also get control over the shadow. We can render out the background. We already have the mask, right? So just about adding the image here real quick. And then we're gonna remove our character and render this out as it is. That's our background, so we can call it background layer. And so now we can throw in that background just copy that, Ctrl A, Ctrl C, go back here, and I'm just gonna paste it on top of the sun. And we're gonna be using here a layer mask on it as well. And create that, alt click, paste, and the other way, right? Great. So now this becomes the kind of adjustment of our shadow, right? So we can now exactly dictate live exactly how intense our shadow is in Photoshop. Isn't this incredible, guys? Now we have full control now over exactly how the sky hits her, right? We can decide here when it looks good. We can decide how hard that filler hits her. Perfect. And guys, just finally, when you have layers, something really cool you can do, you can click on, for instance, the sun layer, right? And you can paint away portions of the light to remove it from that specific layer, right? Now you wanna, paint with a mask on. I don't have it right now, so it paints on, outside, but you can really paint away highlights. See that? I can paint away highlights and design, sculpt my image. Say maybe I don't want to have so much here, and you can work with that. And it's just incredible that you can paint live, right? So this method I just showed you, the painting works better when you have, everything rendered separately from DAZ. We can do that in another video. You really separate things. You render the background separately, the girl without the background in different, takes. This was all rendered with the background just to get a quick render output and so forth. And so guys, that's it for today. That's our, quick intro to layers. And again, I want to come back to layers because they are just incredible. Don't forget to check out my store, dreamland3dstore.com, for these amazing backgrounds, and also for our new club, AI Art Club, where you can learn how to turn your DAZ renders into cool animations using AI tools. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Have fun, and I'll see you soon again.